Okay, we are going to just go over how to manipulate formulas. So since mathematics is the language of physical science, it's important that you're able to rearrange formulas so that they're in a workable format. To solve for a variable means to use math to get the variable by itself. So in our first example, we're trying to solve for d right here. So we want to get d by itself. Right now, the reason why d is not by itself is because it's being divided by t. So we need to move the t. You always do the opposite of what's happening right now. So since we're dividing by t right now, to move the t, we're going to multiply by t. Now, whatever you do to one side, you also have to do to the other side. So we get v times t on that side equals t on the top and t on the bottom cancel out, d. Now remember, it doesn't matter which thing or which side is which for the equal side as long as they're paired up on together. So this is the same as d equals v times t. So our next example here, we're trying to solve for x. X is on the bottom this time. When you're solving for something, you're not only just trying to get by itself, you also need it on top. So the first way I would do this is by moving it on top. There's lots of options for what you could do. You could cross multiply, you could take the reciprocal of both sides. I'm gonna just do it step by step and move this to the top by multiplying both sides by x. So right now it's being divided. So I'm gonna go ahead and multiply this side by x and multiply this side by x. Whatever you do to one side, you always have to do to the other. So by multiplying this side by x, I'm getting rid of the one on the bottom. And then I'll have an x on top over here. So I'll have ay equals cbx over s. So I'm trying to get my x by itself. So you can really move any of these since they're being multiplied and divided. It doesn't really matter which one you move first. So I'm going to move the s. Right now it's on the bottom, so it's being divided. To get it to the top, we multiply. Whatever we do to one side, we also have to do to the other. So cross that out. Now we have a, y, and s on one side, c, b, and x on the other. We want to get rid of the c and the b, so right now they're being multiplied by x. So to move them to the other side, we divide. Whatever you do to one side, you always have to do to the other side as well. So we'll have x equals all of these things. The c and the b are going to cancel, so just x by itself. And then ays over cb. So that would be our final answer. And then the last one, again, we're trying to solve for x. Now this one has got some addition in it. So far all we've been doing is multiplication and division. So the first step to getting this by itself is moving this b. Right now b is being added, so to move it to the other side we need to subtract. So we subtract b. So we'll get y minus b equals mx. Now we still want to get the x by itself. It's not by itself because it's being multiplied by m. So to move the m to the other side, we do the opposite of what's happening right now. Right now they're being multiplied, so we divide to move it to the other side. Whatever you do to one side, you always have to do to the other side as well. And we can't just divide one of these by m. We're dividing this whole side by m. So the m's over here are going to cancel, and we'll have x equals y minus b over m. Remember, it doesn't matter which way we write this, but when you're solving for a variable, you usually write that thing by itself on the left. So x equals y minus b over m is our final answer. So you can now work on your formula manipulation assignment.